Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. Now today I wanted to sit down and do an almost full face of Laura Geller. After placing my order, I realized that I had completely forgotten to pick up a concealer and a bronzer. I don't know how I forgot those two categories. I really don't. And more so the concealer. The bronzer, I might can get that because I have too many already, so that might be a reason for that. But the concealer, I don't know why I forgot it, so it'll be an almost full face of her products. And I'm coming on here without my brows actually done, which I never do. I always love to have my brows done before I get on camera, but I do have a brow pencil that I want to be trying, and I'm actually going to test it on camera for you to be able to see. But none of this is really first impressions for me except for the eyeshadow palette I'm going to be using. The other products I've been trying out and testing, kind of getting a little feel for them. I wanted to know a little bit more about these products before I come on here and filmed, and so I could really give my thoughts on them and what I think of them. So if all of that sounds interesting, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I have my hair pulled back so it can be out of my face, and the first product I'm going in with is this right here. This is her Waterproof Sculpt and Stay Brow Pencil and Gel, and I have mine in the shade Dark Brown. It just has like a tip like that. It's really kind of like more on the larger side. I'm hoping you can see that. And then on the other side, you have a gel. And I will say that I really do like this product. First and foremost, the actual shade is actually cool tone. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. It might look more warm tone on camera, but it's actually more on the cool tone side, which I actually really love because my brows are really cool tone. And a lot of brow pencils that say dark brown, they're usually so warm and they don't work for me. This is more on the cool tone, maybe more on the cool tone neutral side, which both of those will work for me, so I do like that. But let me zoom you in a little bit more here so you can see what I'm doing. Now, for me, I'm mostly missing up here. Like, if you can see how I get kind of like bald patches up in here. So I don't ever fill in that much on the lower part. I just mostly do the top. So what I like to do is brush my brow hairs down, and then I just take my pencil and I just fill in just like this. Like, just fill in that top part because that's really the only place I'm mostly missing some brow hairs. And then a lot of times I'll just take a little bit and just go right in here as well, just to kind of give it that shape. And then just brush it up. And that's literally all I do for my brows. Okay, just went ahead and quickly filled in the other one. And then I'll do the brow gel later, but I do really like this pencil, and the brow gel holds pretty well. I will say that, you know, this brow is more rounder than this one. So oftentimes the brow hairs that I have right here, I need a strong gel to really hold those in place. This will do it sometimes, but by the end of the day, they do fall a little bit, but for the most part, it has pretty decent hold. And if you're not really looking to really plant your brows to your head, this will be really nice. So I do really like this. And I love the color. It's such a perfect tone for my brows. I love that. I have a few eyeshadow palettes here. Two of them I picked up from TJ Maxx, and then one of them I purchased from the Laura Geller website, and that's the one I'm going to be using today because it is still available. I'm not sure about the other two. I'll have to check in and see if they still are. But this is the Laura Geller and Wheel of Fortune prize-winning eyeshadow palette. This is just so cute. I'm not really a fan of the show. I don't watch the show, but I just thought that the color scheme in this was just really pretty, and I heard really good things about her eyeshadow palettes, so I wanted to really try her eyeshadow palettes out. And during the end of the year when I purchased these, she had a huge sale going on, but I noticed she does sales a lot, so definitely, if you've never tried her brand and you were wanting to, definitely wait on the sales because that's really good time to pick up and try some things. She had a huge deal going with this. What I purchased was a little set that she had where you can get the eyeshadow palette, the Wheel of Fortune Face the Wheel blush palette, just has like that, And then you got this brush, which is the dual-ended blush and eyeshadow precision brush, which it kind of reminds me of the one from e.l.f., like how it has the double-ended side. That's kind of what it reminds me of. But I just picked up a set that included those three, and it was marked down really a lot. So that's one of the reasons why I went ahead and picked it up. And the other two eyeshadow palettes that I picked up, these were from TJ Maxx. This first one is it says Seasonless Staples Wildflower Wishes 14 Multi-Finish Eyeshadows. And oh, I love this packaging. This just makes me want spring so bad because I used to really love the wintertime, but I'm definitely more of a spring and summer girl now. So I'm just so ready for spring. And these shades, this is so pretty and lovely. I knew I had to pick this one up, and I cannot wait to use it. But this is one I'm going to be doing like a stand-alone video to do this one because I think this is such a pretty eyeshadow palette that it deserves its own video. And this next one, I have used this one time. This is the Delectables Modern Marvels 14 Multi-Finish Baked Eyeshadow Palette, and there again, this beautiful outside packaging. And then these are some of her baked eyeshadows. Which, when I used this palette, I really did like it. I felt like it was just a really soft, easy formula to work with. So I can see baked eyeshadows being like really beginner friendly too because they're just really easy to work with. But I thought this was a really lovely palette as well. And I can do a standalone video on that too if anybody would like to see it, but I know I definitely want to do one for this one because that one's just so pretty. But I want to focus on the Wheel of Fortune palette today, and I'm just going to go ahead and insert a clip here of future me doing swatches of this palette. So show you the swatches and then we'll come back and do an eye look. I'm going to be swatching the Wheel of Fortune eyeshadow palette, and I figured I'd also swatch the Wheel of Fortune blush palette, and since I'm doing that, I wanted to compare it to her regular blushes, the Baked Blush and Brighten in the shade Tropic Hues. But first, let's start with the eyeshadow palette. I thought this was just such a cute little random collab, but I believe Vanna White is a big fan of Laura Geller's products, so I believe that was really why they did this collab. But I just think this is such a little pretty palette. I just love the color story in it. Of course, it's a neutral palette, so I do like that about it because, as you know, I'm always going to love my neutrals. Now that's kind of like a skin tone shade on me, so I don't expect that to show up really that well. Next three on the top row. We'll start these first three on the second row here. It's a really soft shade. Last three. Okay, so that shade looks more, let me build that up. So that's definitely not a true black shade. It looks more gray and it looks really patchy in a swatch. That's a third time building that shade up. I'm sure it'll perform really nicely on the eyes because so far all of her shadows have, but that shade just applied in a swatch, rather patchy. But there you have this entire palette swatched out. The shimmer shades in this palette are really, really lovely. And I'm hoping that this, well, it's a black shade in the pan, but it's actually more of like a grayish color. I'm hoping that once I apply that to the eyes, it won't look that patchy. I just want to bring up anything I notice. And I'm going to also include a clip right here of this palette swatched outside so you can see the shades in natural lighting. Next are the blushes. So let's start with the Wheel of Fortune. This is the Face the Wheel blush palette. Just looks like that. I think this is just so cute. I'm just go around the wheel this way. And then these last two shades, this one, and then in the center here, which is the center a highlighter? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe, well, no, I don't know. It might be like a blush. We'll see. Oh yeah, that's kind of like a blush lighter. Very pretty. And then since I also have this blush, this is the Blushed Baked and Brighten in the shade Tropic Hues, I figured I'd just compare this to that other palette. This is a really pretty, I love these more swirl marble types of blushes. It reminds me so much of Hourglass. Build that up a little bit more so you can see the shade. I accidentally put a little bit on that one, but you can still see it. And then there you can see that shade in comparison to the other palette. Very, very beautiful blush shades. Okay, so future me has swatched this already, but I have not at the time I'm sitting here filming this. So I'm first going to just take this shade right here. There are no names, so it's mostly like my skin tone shade. And that shade I'm just going to set my eyeshadow primer with. And on a blending brush from e.l.f., I'm going in with the shade right here. Well, it has the U in her name. I don't know how pigmented this is because I've only tried the baked formula, which was really more soft. Ooh, it's going on pretty pigmented. Might should have picked up a little less on the brush. I've heard such amazing things about Laura Geller's products, but I had never tried the brand. I had put it off, and now I'm so glad that I have, because I will say that I've really been enjoying her products, and I would definitely love to purchase more. Like, I picked up her powder foundation, so I would really love to try her, I think she has a liquid foundation or a tinted moisturizer too or something. I'd love to try those as well, and definitely a concealer. I don't know how I forgot to get a concealer. I really don't. I'm just going to go back to that fluffy brush that I was using. Just blend that out. These are really pretty. That's pretty. That's like a perfect shade to start in your crease. Like a perfect transition shade. Of course, I really expected nothing less because I've been impressed so far with everything I've tried. Okay, using that same brush, I'm going in with this shade right here, the one that has the R in it. And then this shade, I'm just going to stamp on this outer half of my lid. I want to do a really simple look with this palette anyway because I'm just going in with mascara. Her mascara, I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. Her mascara, the waterproof one, I don't know how the regular one does, but the waterproof one, I really do like it. But I want you to be able to really see my lashes, so I don't want to go in with nothing too intense on the eye. Of course, now these shades, well, there is a black shade in here, but I haven't swatched it yet, so I don't know if it's like a really dark shade. But I just want to keep everything kind of soft. Then I'm going to take this shade right here on a concealer brush from e.l.f. and I will be spraying my brush with some setting spray. Okay, let's see. Ooh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. I really love that shade. That is so stunning. I'm just going to tap right here on this outer part of where I put that shimmer shade just to make sure it blends. That is so lovely. So lovely. Okay, and then we have her Always There waterproof mascara. And we just have a one that looks like that. Now, I will say, this formula feels very like a wet mascara, but so I find that you do need to be a little careful because I've kind of poked myself and gotten it on my skin really easily because it is such a wet formula, but other than that, really, really pretty. It holds a curl. I find that waterproof mascaras really hold a curl anyway, but this one does a really good job. I'm not sure about her regular mascara. Like she does have a version of this that's not waterproof. I don't know how well that one might be. But I will say that I use a cleansing balm to remove my makeup at the end of the day. And it's from e.l.f. Cosmetics. It's their Holy Hydration cleansing balm, I believe. And it removes this really easily. I don't struggle with removing that at all. Because I thought I might since it's waterproof. But no, it was really easy to come off with a cleansing balm. Okay, I'll show you. And mind you, I do not have like really naturally long lashes. A good mascara can make them look long, but just so they're nothing like, you know, spectacular. So any mascara that can give me length and volume, that's one coat, and you can see compared to the other eye. Just a really pretty mascara. It's a really nice mascara. It hasn't flaked on me, it hasn't smudged or anything like that, so I've really been impressed by it. And there you have a second coat. So it's such a really pretty mascara. I've really been impressed by it, and it's one I would definitely repurchase a lot because I do really like it. I would like to try her other one just because, but this one's really nice. Okay, and there is 2 coats on both sides. This side, I didn't let it dry enough before I went in with the second coat and ended up poking myself a little bit. So there you have it with 2 coats. It's such a pretty mascara. I'm really impressed by it. Okay, the next thing I want to go in right here is her Spackle. This is the Skin Perfecting Primer. This is the hydrating version. I believe she does have one that's matte, and it looks just like that. It's really honestly like a moisturizer. Like it really just feels like you're putting another moisturizer on your skin, and I really like that about it because I really love my skin to be hydrated, especially if I'm going in with like a powder foundation or something. But it's really nice. It feels like just really lightweight and soft on the skin. But if you like a primer that's more like a moisturizer that's going to give you that extra boost of hydration, then I think you'd really like it. I know her Spackle primers are really popular with people, but this is the first time I've ever tried one. I bought a set on her website. She has bundles and stuff. This was a part of a bundle that I purchased. It come with this, the powder foundation, a blush, a highlighter, and then it come with a face brush, like a kabuki style brush. So, oh, and a lipstick. A lipstick was included in that bundle as well. So I will list the bundle for you, but then I'll list all of the products individually as well in the description box below in case you were interested in checking out any of that. But definitely, if you were looking to purchase anything from the brand and you've never tried her before, definitely look at those bundles. Now, I had completely forgotten to get a concealer. So just right quick, I'm just going to do a little bit of concealer under my eyes, and I'm just going to use my Smashbox and Becca Under Eye Brightener and then the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum in the shade Light. I'm just going to quickly do that. These were 2 I picked out for my everyday makeup drawer, so I'm just going to use those. I'll do those right quick, and then we'll come right back to do the powder foundation. The bundle that I purchased from her website, this included one of her this is the Bait Balance and Brighten Color Correcting Foundation, and this one is in the shade Fair. Now, I will say this is a slight bit dark for my skin. She has one that's lighter, and that one I believe is called Porcelain. Next time I would love to pick that one up because this is just a teeny bit dark for me, but not by much. But if I really build it up, then it's a little too dark, so I just like to kind of keep it more on the softer side. And I think really it's one of those products where like a day I'm just kind of rushing out the door, I don't want to wear a liquid foundation, it's perfect. Or I think it would also be perfect to set a liquid foundation too if you're looking for that. But the set also come with this right here. This is the retractable kabuki brush, and then you just slide that down or slide it up. And it's a really nice brush. It's very soft. So I've just been using this brush with this foundation, but you could use any brush you want, but I've just been like patting it. And you can kind of see how right where I placed it, it made my skin look a little too dark. I would love to get the porcelain shade because I feel like that would be a better shade match for me. But other than that, I really do like this product. I think it's just really lightweight on the skin. It's very easy. It's quick. Now, it's not going to give you like full coverage or anything. I mean, you could keep building it up to cover some more, like if you have redness or something in your skin, because it does say color correcting, so. But for me, I don't really want full coverage anyway. I like something that feels lightweight on my skin. And then what I like to do is kind of push this up a little bit and just kind of have a little bit smaller, and then take that and really press it under my eye to kind of set my concealer. I think it's a little handy brush. It has shed on me one time, but other than that, it's fine. It works really well. I think it'd be perfect for travel too, if you were someone that you travel. And if you kind of pushed it up a little bit, you can make it a little smaller to get into more of those, you know, like under your eye or in little crevices like around your nose. Zoom me in a little bit so you can see how it doesn't look cakey, powdery, or nothing. Like it just looks so smooth on the skin, and I really do like that about it. So I definitely really like this. I just would like to get a different shade in it, but I think this shade would be perfect to take like a really fluffy brush and set like a liquid foundation with it. So that might be the way I use this shade up, and then I'd love to purchase the porcelain shade to use kind of the way I did this one today. For highlighter, I have this one right here. This is the Baked Original highlighter, and this one is in the shade French Vanilla. I know that this is a really popular shade, and it's one of those, it kind of reminds me of the Baked highlighter from Essence, kind of like that type of product. Like you can see if I just rub it into like my hand, you can see it just gives like a really pretty highlighter effect, but without being over the top. So if you are someone that likes a subtle highlighter, I think this one's perfect. I'm just going to use that brush they included in the Wheel of Fortune set, and I'm using this side. And I'm just going to place that right in here. And you can kind of see it's really subtle, but it's very pretty. I really do like it. And see, all of these products I included in my everyday makeup drawer because I've been using them off camera because I wanted to come in and have like my thoughts already formed on these products. And I've really been impressed with everything I've tried. I've loved it all. And I can see why this is so popular with people. I have two different blushes here. The first one, this one come in the bundle. This is the Baked Blush and Brighten in the shade Tropic Hues. It's a really, really pretty shade. You can see that. It's so stunning. Of course, now I've already included some swatches earlier in the video for you to be able to see, but I just wanted you to see it again because it's just so pretty. I definitely would love to pick up more of these. I know that I do not need any more blushes, and I was just mentioning in my last video that I need to do a declutter, but these are so lovely. And this shade, because I'm fair, I have to be very careful with this shade, so I would love to have a shade that's more on the lighter side, so I wouldn't have to be as careful. And then, of course, I have the Wheel of Fortune Face the Wheel blush palette. It just looks like that. We have all these really beautiful blush tones in this as well. I might, I don't know. Should I use, I don't know which one I want to use. Maybe I should do a combo of both. Okay, let's start with I'm going to start with Tropic Hues, and I'm just going to take that on that dual-ended brush. I'm just going to pick up a little bit and then really tap it into the back of my hand because these are really pigmented and I don't want a lot, or too much too soon, I should say. And I'm just going to kind of really press that in, and so lovely. I don't have a bronzer and I'm not wearing one just yet, but I'll just pull a bronzer from my collection that I already have and apply it because I don't know why I forgot to get a bronzer from Laura Geller. But I would love to try one because they her baked products remind me of like the Hourglass with the swirls. So I would like to, I haven't done my lower lash line yet with the eyeshadow. Okay, let me do the blush and then I'll come back in and do that. But look how so pretty. And you could really build this shade up. Like, this is just me tapping the majority of the pigment off into my hand, but you could really build this shade up, and that is just, it's so pretty. You know, I'm going to go in on the other side with that shade too because it's just that pretty. And then maybe I can top it with one of the other shades from the Wheel of Fortune. I am really tapping in a lot of the pigment off the back of my hand because this is just such a more intense shade for me. I love blush. I do. I love blush and I love eyeshadow. I think those would be my two favorite categories of makeup, but the blush is the one thing though that I need to really cut down on because now that I've tried newer and newer formulas from different brands, I find that I have some blushes in my collection that I know are not up to the same quality, so I really need to go through those. I don't even want to put another blush on top, but I will. So I'm going to go in with this shade right here. I don't know if it'll really show up over the top of that or not, but I have to have more. And it might be similar shade. Yeah, it's a similar shade, just kind of builds up that color a little bit. But I will say that I have used this palette once before, and the blushes are equally as lovely as the baked ones. Really nice. There was no fading throughout the day. It looked just as beautiful at the end of the day as it did when I first applied it, so cannot go wrong. I find that really tapping the product on the back of your hand, that really helps keep the pigment kind of down so you can really go in a little bit more. Of course, now I do like a blushy look, mind you, but I want to be able to control it myself, not go in like so heavy-handed right up front. I'm just going to kind of tap over it with that kabuki brush that I was using with the powder foundation. Just kind of tap over that a little bit. I might have went a little much with the blush, but you know what? Nah, you can never have enough blush. Okay, I'm just going to take this shade right here on a small angled brush from e.l.f. And we're just going to run that on my lower lash line. I can't believe I had forgotten to come back in and do this. Okay, and then the last thing I need to go in with is the lips. This is the Modern Classic Waterproof Lip Liner, and this is the shade Purely Pink, and it has like a tip kind of like that. And then there is that color. So pretty. I mean, it's such a pretty color. I mean, that's so pretty. I love this shade. This is another formula that I would love to try different shades from. Maybe something a little softer, like more of like a nude that I would go for. But that's really pretty. And then the lipstick is the Modern Classic lipstick, cream lipstick in the shade Pink Passion, and these are also really nice. It just looks like that right there. Really pretty shade. and just kind of keep it in the center. It might be hard to tell on camera, but it's a little bit lighter than the lip liner, so I just want to keep it kind of a little in the center. It's just really comfortable on the lips. Both of them are really creamy. They just feel hydrating on the lips. They don't feel dry or anything like that. Just really, really lovely. But there you have this almost full face of Laura Geller. I mean, these are just such lovely, pretty products. I feel pretty. I think that's the way I feel every time I've used these products. Now, the eyeshadow palette that I used today was new to me. I had not tried that yet, but so stunning. I'm just so impressed with everything I've tried from this brand thus far. I really want to try more. I hate that I've waited this long to try the brand, so I really would recommend this brand to anyone. If you were looking to try the brand and you hadn't, maybe you were like me and you were a little late to it and you hadn't tried the brand yet, I'd say go for it if you were looking at it and you were looking to buy some new products from Laura Geller. This is just so pretty because these products are just so pretty. I can see why people really love this brand and really love her products, because these are products that I feel really deserve to be hyped up, because this is just really stunning, really beautiful on the skin, and I am just so happy that I finally tried this brand. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already. And please make sure to follow me over on Instagram at Jessica Dearly, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!